Good morning and welcome back to Reading Wikis for You, where we read the wiki articles for you. And today we're going to be reading about the Tower of Hercules. So sit back and don't forget, comment down below with what articles you'd like to see next. The Tower of Hercules is the oldest known extant Roman lighthouse. Built in the 1st century, the tower is located on a peninsula about 2.4 kilometers from the center of A Coruña, Galicia in northwestern Spain. Until the 20th century, it was known as the Forum Brigantium. The Latin word "forum" is derived from the Greek pharos for the lighthouse of Alexandria. The structure stands 55 meters tall and overlooks the North Atlantic coast of Spain. The tower was renovated in 1791. There is a sculpture garden on the grounds of the lighthouse featuring works by Pablo Serrano and Francisco Leiro. The Tower of Hercules is a national monument of Spain, and it has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 27 June 2009. It is the second tallest lighthouse in Spain after the Faro de Chipiona. Construction and history. The tower is known to have existed by the 1st century. It was built, or perhaps rebuilt, under Trajan, possibly on foundations following a design that was Phoenician in origin. The design was based on the original plans of the Lighthouse of Alexandria. Its base preserves a cornerstone with the inscription Marti av sacer si sevis lupus architectus amenisis Lusitanus ex vo. I probably butchered that. Please forgive me. Ascribing the tower's design to the architect Gaius Sevius Lupus from Amenium, present-day Coimbra, Portugal, in the former province of Lusitania, as an offering to the Roman god of war, Mars. The tower has been in consistent use since the 2nd century. The original tower was shorter and wider than the current tower. As the surviving core was surrounded by a spiral ramp, the outline of this ramp is still visible in the restored exterior. The final story of the tower was likely topped with a dome. The earliest known reference to the lighthouse at Brigantium is by Paulus Orosius in Historiae Adversum Paganos, written around 415 to 417. I'm just going to read the English. At the second angle of the circuit circumnavigating Hispania, where the Galician city of Brigantia is sited, a very tall lighthouse is erected among a few commemorative works for looking towards Britannia. In 1788, the surviving 34-meter tower core was given a neoclassical restoration, including a new 21-meter 4th story. The restoration was undertaken by naval engineer Eustachio Gianni during the reign of Charles III of Spain, and it was finished in 1791. UNESCO praised the work. The Tower of Hercules was restored in the 18th century in an exemplary manner, which has protected the central core of the original Roman monument while restoring its technical functions. Within, the much repaired Roman and medieval masonry remains visible. The Romans who conquered this region of Spain believed it to be, in a figurative sense, the end of the earth, hence its name Finisterra. This region is notorious for shipwrecks, earning it the name Costa da Morte, or Coast of Death. Myths. Throughout the millennia, many mythical stories of the lighthouse's origin have been told. According to a myth that mixes Celtic and Greco-Roman elements, the hero Hercules slew the giant tyrant Geryon after 3 days and 3 nights of continuous battle. Hercules then, in a traditional Celtic gesture, buried the head of Geryon with his weapons and ordered that a city be built on the site. The lighthouse, standing atop a skull and crossbones representing the buried head of Hercules' slain enemy, appears in the coat of arms of the city of A Coruña. According to another legend from the 11th century Irish compilation Lebor Gabala Aren, the Book of Invasions, King Breogan, the founding father of the Galician Celtic nation, constructed a massive tower of such grand height that his sons could see a distant green shore from its top. The glimpse of that distant green land lured them to sail north to Ireland. According to the legend, Breogan's descendants stayed in Ireland and are the Celtic ancestors of the current Irish people. A colossal statue of Breogan has been erected near the tower. Through the Middle Ages, multiple naval crusading itineraries to the Holy Land mentioned the obligatory stopover at the lighthouse. Usually the crusader fleets would disembark there to reach the shrine of the apostle James the Greater at Santiago de Compostela on foot. De Expugnatione Lixbonensi and De Itinere Frisunum, sorry folks, helped to perpetuate the legend that the lighthouse had been built by Julius Caesar, perhaps due to a misreading of the ancient inscription. Possible locations of Brigantia. Early geographical descriptions of Brigantia point out that the town's location could either be A Coruña or alternatively some 26 kilometers away, where the town of Betanzos now sits. The people of Betanzos claim it as a fact that Betanzos is, quote, the former city of Brigantia. Until the 7th century, both in literary accounts as well as in maps, and they also believe that the name Betanzos is a phonetic evolution from Brigantium to Braganzo to Betanzos. The proponents of the A Coruña tradition and others suggest, however, that this is a false etymology. The Betanzos tradition claims that the port of Betanzos was getting too small for the larger medieval ships, and that King Alfonso IX of Leon decided to create a bigger port nearby in the 13th century. The place he chose was an uninhabited place called Clunia, which later on evolved to Cruña and eventually Coruña. The place named Clunia is believed to come from the Proto-Celtic root Cluny? I'm butchering all of these words. I apologize, folks. Meaning meadow. However, the A Coruña tradition maintains that the port of Betanzos, which is a fluvial one on a relatively small river, was far too small for Roman warships to dock at. Julius Caesar, for example, is said to have visited this area with more than 100 triremes. A Coruña was an important Roman site, as graveyards and other Roman remains have been found in the city center, demonstrating that the site was inhabited in the Roman period and was deserted only during the early Middle Ages due to Viking attacks, when its people moved inland to Oburgo, now Culleredo. The proponents of A Coruña as Brigantia also explain the different name as a change that occurred in the Middle Ages and point out that the lighthouse, which was called Forum Brigantium, was erected in A Coruña and is at least 25 kilometers or a day's walk from Betanzos. All right, so I hope you found that interesting. Needless to say, posting this up because let's just say I was recently there, but I hope you found it interesting. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel for more articles. And as always, drop a comment down below and let us know what you'd like to hear next. So thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.